For 17 years, the Money in the Bank briefcase has been around, got introduced back at WrestleMania 21 time, and it's still a thing today, even with its own pay-per-view. And in that time frame, we've had 32 different Money in the Bank holders. And in those 32 holders, there's only been 4 failures. Technically 6 if you want to count Mr. Kennedy and Otis, who did fail on accomplishing what the contract said, which was cash it in, because, well, they lost the briefcase. And I make this video because with a recent Money in the Bank holder, Austin Theory, I have this worried, lingering thought that most likely Austin Theory may fail his cash in. If not, they're going to give it to Kevin Owens. And this got me thinking, why has there been so many Money in the Bank failures? In its 17-year history, not even counting the 2 that technically aren't fails, putting those 4 failures in, it's quite, I won't say embarrassing, but it's poor decision making when it comes towards the Money in the Bank contract. I mean, already with the failures in there, it doesn't help that it's had pretty bad booking winner-wise, but at least it cashes in, keeping his prestige up. There's already 4 failures on it. That takes away the prestige. And the 4 failures in question are John Cena in 2012, Damian Sandow in 2013, Baron Corbin in 2017, and Braun Strowman in 2018. That is back-to-back years, 2 times in the same decade. If it was my way of running things, there would only be 1 or 2 failures right now, and they would be very far apart from each other. Keep the failures so minimum that when it happens, it's shocking. Since there's already been 4 of them, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. It ruins the prestige of what the Money in the Bank contract's supposed to be. So in this video, I'm addressing every single failure, even Mr. Kennedy's and Otis's, bringing up a solution for every single which one of them. Now, the solutions most likely will be a stretch. I'm just trying to find a solution in the best case possible for every single Money in the Bank failure to somehow successfully cash it in. Even if it's the most ridiculous Attitude Era type of concept ever. Mr. Kennedy in 2007. Mr. Kennedy lost his Money in the Bank contract on the May 7, 2007 edition of Monday Night Raw. And the reason why he did drop it, specifically to Edge, is because he had an injury and WWE thought that his injury was going to last a lot longer than intended. Turns out his injury was a very short term, meaning that Mr. Kennedy could have held on to the Money in the Bank contract. And if you haven't already guessed, solution number 1, literally the only solution, be patient. Literally, if WWE just waited on his injury, then Mr. Kennedy would have done just fine. He would have cashed in, and he would have been World Heavyweight Champion at some point in 2007. There's a reason why the contract lasts a year. That gives you plenty of time, if an injury happens, just to wait on it. They should have waited for the reports to come back and see if he was going to be out for like 8 to 9 months. If it turns out it was going to be a couple weeks or a couple months, like they actually found out, then, well, just wait on it. He can do promos during that time, build his character up, and you're going to find there's an issue later on regarding stuff like this. John Cena in 2012. John Cena lost his Money in the Bank contract on the Raw 1000 episode edition against CM Punk, which was due to a DQ because Big Show came in and fucking elbow drop John Cena and CM Punk. Cena is a unique type of guy because, unlike the other Money in the Bank winners, he actually announced his match prior to Punk to get Punk ready to go. And in doing so, he also wrote Big Smoke. Big Smoke, yeah, okay. He provoked Big Show, which led to Big Show interfering. Yeah, not good. Solution number 1, a different direction for Cena vs. Rock Part 2. Now, this is where some Attitude Era type of shit's gonna happen, because all this sounds just ballsick as a solution. So we all know how Rock vs. Cena went. Rock, on the same Raw where Cena failed his cash-in, funnily enough, Rock announced that he's going to take on CM Punk or whoever the WWE Champion is at Royal Rumble. And, well, it still ended up being Punk anyways in the end. But there's some time period in there that we're missing. Before we get to the other stuff, there was a guy named Ryback making his name known. A guy that was getting really popular with the crowd. Even they were like, Goldberg, Goldberg, Goldberg. People actually loved him. The kids loved him. The adults probably loved him. I mean, I love his memes. He was really growing with the audience. So instead of Cena taking on Punk at Hell in a Cell, they put Ryback in that position, and that's where Ryback just kind of dipped. Because Ryback was taking losses he shouldn't have. He lost at Hell in a Cell, lost the Survivor Series, he lost in a TLC match against CM Punk on the Raw that was supposed to be at TLC. He also lost the Shield debut match at the TLC pay-per-view, and he got eliminated from the Royal Rumble. Just a lot of things were going wrong for Ryback. You missed somebody who could have gotten actually pushed with the crowd, someone that was actually over at the time, but no. let's not go for him. So in this universe, how about Cena does not cash in at Raw 1000? How about Cena comes out to set a promo with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and threatens, The Rock with the briefcase, saying, hey, if you win the WWE Championship, just remember who the briefcase holder is for it. Kind of teases some things. And during this time, never once do you put Ryback towards the main event seed. Keep Ryback far as away as possible from the WWE Championship, and just have him start gradually growing up the card against more like main eventer type of guys like Randy Orton as such, because Randy Orton was not in any sort of main event position because of his history. So you have Ryback kind of build himself up during that time, and then when Royal Rumble time comes, you have Ryback win the Royal Rumble, and keep Rock and Punk the same. After Rock and Punk's done with, Cena comes out with his Money in the Bank contract, puts it in front of Rock, and points to his WrestleMania sign saying, it's me versus you. I'm cashing in my Money in the Bank contract. Keep Cena to his morals of just letting the opponent know instead of being a cheap way of doing it. Yeah, Cena just couldn't be heel once, could you? So then that sets up your WrestleMania main event. Is it kind of predictable? It doesn't really help because the Royal Rumble was due. And now with this, you have Ryback winning the Royal Rumble. Yeah, he's going to go take on Alberto Del Rio for the World Championship. Not exactly the most exciting of things, or Jack Swagger, or a triple threat. Really what would you want to go with there? But to be honest, people are already turning against Alberto towards WrestleMania time. So really, it's just going to be that crowd energy just really building into that match. It's not going to be the greatest thing in the world, but honestly, if you're not going to capitalize on someone that's really huge, that's a missed opportunity. Solution number 2, give it to Y2J. Now, you're probably thinking, what? Now, let's remember, Y2J was in the same Money in the Bank match as John Cena. He made the concept, so why don't you just give him the contract? I'm sorry, Cena winning the Money in the Bank will never make sense. Why did he win it? He is John Cena. He can literally ask for an opportunity and he'll get it. So just give Chris Jericho the Money in the Bank contract. Seriously, he made the damn thing. It's a crime shame he hasn't won a Rumble or has won a Money in the Bank contract. Now, would Jericho succeed in his run as Money in the Bank holder? That's left up for your guys' imagination. But I truthfully think it should have been given to Chris Jericho that year. Damien Sandow in 2013. Damien Sandow lost his Money in the Bank contract on the October 29th, 2013 edition of Raw to John Cena, who hit him with a one-armed AA. And the reason why Damien lost it is because, well, firstly, WWE are some cowards, and they wanted no complications when it came towards their unification match, TLC, 2 months later. So let's take away the Money in the Bank contract, so that's not going to be a problem, even though it could have actually separated the titles. And because Vince McMahon, I don't know, kind of just didn't see the appeal of Damien Sandow anymore after having him lose a lot. Which leads us to solution number 1. Book him correctly. If you stop seeing something in someone because you're booking them to lose a lot, I wonder why. Because they're being booked to look weak, so you're going to look him at as such. How about instead of having Damien Sandow lose his matches, maybe, I don't know, have Damien win his matches? And if you were not going to book Damien to win his matches, then you should have just, I don't know, have him do promos. No matches at all. Maybe this feud with Cody, don't have him lose in 6 minutes. Maybe give him a good 14-minute match with it being back and forth, which I know a lot of people can bring up. Why not just give it to Cody? That's not one of the solutions here. I'm sorry, but I think Damien Sandow was the perfect guy to win it in 2013. He had all the assets. It was just a matter of booking him correctly. And that's what you should have done. You should have gradually have built Damien Sandow up from winning the Money in the Bank contract to his eventual cash-in, which would have most likely have been in October, if not, would have been later in 2014. The way he should have been booked is, yes, this out-of-nowhere person that keeps losing a lot wins the contract. Treat it as such. Maybe at first Damien Sandow is losing, but then slowly he starts growing into the main event guy he is, starts challenging these big names, gets close to beating them, then he starts actually beating them. So when he eventually cashes in, it's like a whole big deal. Solution number 2, have someone else brutally attack John Cena before the match. As we know, Damien Sandow attacked Cena before the match, but clearly it was not enough for Cena to do a one-arm AA because, Cena wins, LOL. But how about we have Alberto Del Rio attack John Cena, or Ryback? Now, Ryback doesn't really make so much sense, so let's address him first. What if Paul Heyman comes out trying to, get a challenge out of Cena saying, my client, Ryback, almost beat CM Punk in the Hell in a Cell match, and now he wants to challenge you, Cena, now that I have him on my side. Why am I making Paul Heyman sound like Ryback? Either way, Paul Heyman's gonna say Ryback wants to challenge, and Cena probably declines it or something. If not, Ryback's just like, I can't stand you, Cena, F you, and just murders the guy. Damien Sandow comes out, takes advantage of it, maybe attacks Cena himself like before, and then cashes it in a quick squash match. Basically keeping Cena safe, because it's very clear you didn't want Cena to lose against Damien because you wanted to keep Cena looking strong. Yeah, Super Cena was still kind of strong around this time. Just slight. If not, the most person that makes sense in this situation would be Alberto Del Rio, who is pissed off that, well, he kind of just lost his title to someone that didn't really deserve it. He was just given the title because he's John Cena. So realistically, Alberto would come out, maybe show some respect, faking it, and then he just, as for Ryback, murders Cena, goes after his arm, puts his arm in a cross arm breaker on the pole, kicks him across the head a few times, does whatever. Damien Sandow comes out, takes advantage of it, does his own attack. If not, he goes right for the match, hits his, pretty much, he had the Colossus before, his little boom, you know how Jinder Mahal's Colossus is, and wins the title. Boom. There you go. If you wanted to make Cena look strong, then do this. Solution number 3. Now, this may sound crazy. Have Damien Sandow win. John Cena wins, LOL, after getting attacked. That is so corny. That is so bad. How about you just have Damien Sandow win? Sometimes the most out-of-nowhere upsets are needed. Hell, you could have actually had someone attack Cena during the match. You could have Alberto Del Rio come out and attack. But no. How about, just for the absolute shock value and absolute plot twist, Damien Sandow beats John Cena clean. How about after that one-arm AA, Damien kicks out to prove that Cena is not at 100%. He's not at his full power with that AA. So then Damien takes advantage of that arm, so when he hits his finisher, I'm going to call the Colossus, at this time, because I don't remember what he actually called it, he gets the victory. Listen, it would be out of nowhere considering Damien Sandow probably had not won a match in some time frame, but sometimes, upsets are needed. And it's John Cena. He can recover from this. Like, seriously. Plus, another shocking thing is Damien could have been a transitional champion. If Vince was not going to take Damien so serious, then, him beating Cena clean, but then the triple threat of Survivor Series between him, Alberto Del Rio, and Cena, and then, Damien loses it in a triple threat match. But he doesn't get pinned or something, because, fuck Alberto. Baron Corbin 2017. Baron Corbin lost his Money in the Bank contract on the August 15th, 2017 edition of SmackDown, the go-home show to SummerSlam, getting rolled up by Jinder Mahal due to the interference of John Cena. And the reason why Baron Corbin lost it? Because Baron Corbin had an opinion, and it got a little heated. Oh boy. Solution number 1. Chill the hell out! You know why Baron Corbin lost it? Because he had an opinion. But what was his opinion on? Baron Corbin had a heated argument with the WWE doctor trying to dismiss and undercut concussion protocols. Seriously? He lost a Money in the Bank contract for having a valid opinion. Yes, it got heated, sure. But Baron Corbin knows a thing or two with the concussions because firstly, he's a WWE wrestler, and also because he played in the NFL, which played a big factor in that argument. The fact Baron got punished for this really upsets me to lose the whole entire Money in the Bank contract. If anything, you would want someone as a main eventer, top guy, to defend things like that. It's just ridiculous that something like that interfered with his push. You're telling me one thing he said to a WWE doctor that got heated ruined everything. You should have just chilled out, talked with him, to not have something like this happen again. And if it happens again, then yes, maybe you should question it. But just a one-time thing, and you already turn against him? Chill out. Solution number 2. A backup punishment. We went from not punishing him to punishing him. Instead of having Baron Corbin fail his cash-in, how about Cena just stops him from cashing in general? Which can still add to their SummerSlam feud, at SummerSlam. Maybe when Baron Corbin's about to cash in, Cena kind of grabs him from the legs and nut jobs him on the posts. And Baron Corbin gets pissed off because he found that was his perfect opportunity to cash in, and Cena took it from him, proving that Cena is just the same old guy. Always taking other people's opportunities. How dare he do this? He's such a son of a bitch. And then after Baron Corbin loses to Cena at SummerSlam, Cena's gonna fuck off to Raw to take on Roman, so then this leaves Baron Corbin perfectly A-OK safe. Now regarding when Baron Corbin cashes in, that is left up to the imagination. It should be sometime prior to Hell in a Cell, if not at Hell in a Cell on Jinder. I don't know what you will do, regarding that. Baron Corbin had a couple underrated triple threat matches in 2017, so if he cashes in on Shinsuke prior to Hell in a Cell, cashes in on Jinder prior to Hell in a Cell, hell, go for it. Triple threat, Hell in a Cell, Jinder, Baron, Shinsuke. Trust me, it'll be an underrated banger for no reason at all, because Baron Corbin just has those for some reason. Either way, he's cashing in at some time in September time, if not early October. And then you would have Baron Corbin lose his Money in the Bank contract, originally where Jinder Mahal lost it, which was the November 7th edition of SmackDown. So in this time, Baron Corbin only had the title for under 50 to 40 days, probably even under 35 days. So pretty much in the end, Baron Corbin's not really having a long reign, probably not as long as it was intended to be, because Vince is still upset with him regarding the heated argument. But in this universe, he would still cash in, and the Money in the Bank contract would still have prestige to it. And even after this failure, Baron Corbin did end up kind of getting some kind of push when he came Constable Corbin. So really, it's not really affecting him, it's just kind of backstepping him from the main event seed. Braun Strowman 2018. Braun Strowman made the unfortunate mistake of Cena, and that is pre-announcing his Money in the Bank cash-in for Hell in a Cell against Roman Reigns. And I really feel bad for Braun Strowman because technically he didn't even fail. Brock Lesnar returned at Hell in a Cell, attacked both Braun and Roman Reigns with the Hell in a Cell door that he broke in with. So pretty much Braun didn't even get to successfully cash in or really fail because the match ended in a no contest. And the reason why Braun Strowman lost the Money in the Bank contract is because WWE was really iffy because he was having a lot of backstage issues at the time. Even though we were only a few months into his Money in the Bank contract time, but alright, sure, let's just have him lose the briefcase and then the next month get buried by Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel! Solution number one, give it to Rusev. Like Chris Jericho in 2012, you had a perfectly fine other winner in the match. I hate to say this, but Braun Strowman's not the type of guy to cash in. He's the type of guy to challenge for it and win it. Not in these kind of cheap Money in the Bank tactics. Now someone has a contract automatically. No, Braun Strowman gets himself in that match because either he's scary enough to get it without earning it, or he has to earn it by winning a number one contender match. If not, his stardom alone should help him. So why in the hell holding around a damn briefcase having this feud with Kevin Owens? Rusev. Why Rusev of all people? The fact you're asking this kind of concerns me because we all know Rusev Day was over at this time. Rusev Day. Rusev Day. And the thing comparing Braun to Rusev is Braun does not need a contract. Rusev does. We all know Vince is not going to give Rusev a clean victory, especially over someone like Brock Lesnar or eventually Roman Reigns or someone like AJ Styles. He's going to have to have some kind of shenanigans going on to cash in. So just give it to Rusev. He was so over. That crowd, I'm telling you, WrestleMania 34, big missed opportunity not having him win the United States Championship. He was mega over. Hell, the next month at Extreme Rules against AJ Styles, he should have won it there, honestly. Showed how much his worth was. Yet, you just held off on it. Rusev was main event worthy. He had the promo skills, he had the crowd control, and he had the in-ring skills. He had it all. He didn't have Vince's support, unfortunately. Plus, in this case, you know Rusev's reliable because he has no backstage issues. He's very reliable. So just give him the contract. And Braun Strowman, you hold off on him, seeing if he can fix his backstage issues. So instead of just tarnishing the Money in the Bank by having it being in a no contest, you give it to someone who's actually over with the crowd, and the person you actually wanted to win it, you just kind of wait on them. And if you have to wait another year on Braun, wait on it. Just keep him looking strong in that time frame. Solution number two, cash in on AJ Styles. Now this one's kind of out of nowhere because, logically he would go after the guy who is his rival. But how about, in the biggest of plot twists, he travels over to SmackDown and cashes it in on AJ Styles. By the time Braun Strowman held the Money in the Bank contract for a good couple of months, AJ's reign was way longer overdue to be dropped. It was no longer interesting. He beat Shinsuke 4 times in a row, then he beat Samoa Joe 4 times in a row. But we're narrowing this down towards September, August time. Technically, AJ did lose in his reign by DQ at SummerSlam, which, speaking of which, What if after that match when AJ got DQ'd and attacked Joe, Braun Strowman just comes out of nowhere and fucking kills AJ? Because AJ's like, I don't got to worry about Braun. No, Braun's like, no, you're going to worry about me, bitch. And obviously, Braun would not be faced by Samoa Joe because, well, last year's SummerSlam proved as such. So Braun would just, take down Samoa Joe. Then he would go after AJ, power slam him or something. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Now, unfortunately, in this timeline, Braun would most likely still have those backstage issues to which WWE might be hesitant to take the title off him. So, Hell in a Cell time, just triple threat the bitch. Braun versus AJ versus Samoa Joe. And that's where Joe can win the title. I mean, boom, go for it. If you don't have enough trust in Braun, if not, you can have Braun drop it to Joe or AJ, and then Braun goes to Raw and takes the Universal title. I don't know what you want to do in this situation, but either way, biggest plot twist, he goes after AJ. Solution number 3, pull the trigger at SummerSlam 2018. As we all know, at SummerSlam 2018, Braun Strowman came out to the match ready to cash in between Brock and Roman. Trust me, this is not the first time this has happened to either one of them. But unfortunately for Braun's case, he got attacked and Brock literally fucking threw his briefcase across the damn arena. How about you just pull the trigger and give it to Braun Strowman that night? Let's not forget, WWE, the only reason why they cheered Roman Reigns is because they no longer wanted Brock holding the title. Anybody could have won that title that night and they would have cheered. Maybe could have won the damn title and they would have cheered. So instead of just giving the title off Brock just so it's off Brock finally, how about you give it to someone that's a fan favorite? Braun Strowman comes in, he doesn't even give a damn. Just steamrolls right through both of them and gets the contract. And in this case, it would be a happy accident because when Roman Reigns gets leukemia, there's no Universal title drama. You already have Old Reliable with Braun Strowman holding it, so then whatever the hell was going on with Brock does not happen unless you just want to, ruin everything. Otis in 2020. Now, Otis, like Mr. Kennedy, did not fail his cash-in, but he did end up losing it to Miz at Money in the Bank 2021 due to the contract being on the line, which is something I'll never understand. How would you lose your contract in a pinfall match? Why can't it just be a ladder match like Dolph and Cena? To this date, there is no reason as to why Otis won the briefcase. It's just Vince was feeling really hot on Otis at the time, and then, in classic Vince fashion in the 2020s, he quickly lost interest and just had him drop it to The Miz, who ended up successfully cashing it in on Drew McIntyre, which I like The Miz, and I'm glad he got his world title shot. But here's some solutions. Solution number 1, Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio was in the same match as Otis. So instead of having Otis win it, just because in the moment you love Otis so much, how about you give Rey Mysterio, firstly, an apology for 2011, and you give him a thank you for his long, hard work in the company. Solution number 2, chaos! Listen, I am all for chaos. 2020 has to be one of the most boringest years of WWE history. I hate to say that, but before they went to the Thunderdome, it got boring quickly. There was no crowd, and when the fake crowd came in, it certainly helped things, but not by much. So, at least for a week or two, just give it to my man Otis. Why the hell not? I mean, come on, if you were going to give Otis the briefcase, at least have him hold it for at least a week. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this, and as stated, there's going to be some attitude era type booking, but the PC era needed a lot more than what it had. Just go for it. If you needed to have him win a cinematic match, hell, go for it. If not, for the ultimate chaos of it all, you should have stick with the rumor with having him cash it in for the tag team titles. Fuck it. Why not? Chaos! And that is it for the Money in the Bank and the solutions. Hold on. Oh, I forgot someone. James Ellsworth in 2017.